If you guys realize that in our society there's this constant need to justify the things that happen in life. There's this constant need to make everything look good. You have to pretend as if you know what you're doing. You have to pretend as if things are working out for you. You have to pretend as if your life makes sense. You have to convince other people that you have figured shit out. You have to convince other people that you have what they call a positive mindset. Life is not whooping your ass. And there's this constant need to justify the bad things that happen in life. Everything is happening for a good reason. Nothing can happen for a bad reason. Nothing can happen because we are a slave race. Nothing can happen because we are in a prison planet. Nothing can happen because this reality was created by a deranged being that wanted to, manipulate us in so many different ways for entertainment. Everything that is happening for a good reason. God knows what he's doing. God is good. Life is good. Life is a gift. It is taboo to admit that you don't know what the heck is going on in this world. Like, hey, I have no idea what the heck is going on, man. Like, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. Like, it's taboo. It is taboo to admit that you don't have shit figured out. It is taboo to admit that you feel like giving up. It is taboo to admit that you feel like a failure. It is taboo to admit that you don't feel like your life is working out. It is taboo to admit that you don't feel like the things that are happening in the world are good, and you are doubting if we are really here for a good reason. Like, things are not making sense to you. It is taboo. There's this need to justify everything. No matter what happens, the worst thing can happen, and we still have to have what they call a positive mindset. We still have to say, oh, yeah, I see that this has happened, but it's just life. This is how life works. This is how life works. Good things are going to happen. In this world, there are bad things and good things. So yes, this war is happening, but you have to know that, good things are going to happen in the future. You know what I mean? This accident has happened, yes, but you also have to, realize that though there are some people who are happy right now, who are enjoying their lives right now. So, nature is balanced. We never just want to admit that, hey, man, maybe this is messed up. We never want to admit that. So if a person comes out and say, hey, man, I'm not really sure what's going on, or I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my life, when I try to talk about what what I go through and how I feel, people blame me. We say they're complaining. We say they're weak. Like people will gaslight you. Even when you're not really complaining, even when you are just trying to make sense of everything. Oh, you're complaining. Like it's taboo. So society has been programmed to always be positive, even when there are negative things that are actually happening. That it's actually taboo to be negative or to be real, because really, if each and every person in this world was going to be real, it will sound like they are complaining. I want you all to understand it. If each and every person in this world decided that they wanted to talk about how they really feel, it will sound like they're complaining. If Puffy had to talk about how he really feels, it will sound like he's complaining. If 50 Cent had to talk about how he really feels, it would sound like he's complaining. If Jesus had to talk about how he really feels. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I know there's a Christian who's watching this video, so, When I was scrolling through TikTok today, I came across a video from this guy. He was a follower of Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon believed that Earth is a school. We came here to learn how to manipulate energy. We planned everything before we came here. Like, we chose where we're going to be born. We chose who our parents, who our parents would be. We chose our friends, the people that would be in relationships with, our teachers. The people who stole from us, we actually did agree with them that they were going to steal from us. If someone mistreated you at some point in your life, you agreed with them before you were born that they were going to mistreat you, so that you learn, you learn something. Like you knew that there was something that you needed to learn. Which is very ironic. I mean, think about it. For me to agree with someone in the first place that they're going to give me a certain experience, that will mean that I already know what the lesson is. So there's no need for me to have that experience, because I already know what I need to learn in the first place. Does that make sense? For an example, let's say I want to be a better person. Let's say I want to be a better lover. I actually know what I need to know to become a better lover. I cannot say to someone that, break my heart. Let's be in a relationship and you break my heart so that I'll feel pain, and after feeling pain, I'm going to be a better lover. Like, no, I will actually know what I would learn from feeling pain. And so I will know what I will actually gain from that kind of experience. So I wouldn't agree with someone that, hey, break my heart so that I'll learn how to love. It means that I see that there is something that I need to learn that I haven't learned, or there is something that I know I can learn from an experience, but to even recognize that there is something that I need to learn from an experience, I already know the lesson. To even recognize that. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, for me to even recognize that if I have this kind of experience, this is what I'm going to learn, it means I already know the lesson. There are lessons that I need to learn, meaning that the experience itself is not necessary. But yeah, the Lawrence Cannon believes that we are here to learn how to manipulate energy. We have agreed to everything that happens to us. There's nothing that is happening to us without our consent. We've agreed to everything. We just forgot that we've agreed to this. This is the topic that I was talking about yesterday. I was showing, y'all guys, how ridiculous it is to even believe that we agreed to this. Like yesterday, if you haven't watched the video that I uploaded yesterday, go and watch it. I think the title of the video is Ethics is School BS. That's the title of the video. So I'm not gonna go deep into that because that's not what I want to talk about today. But yeah, the Lawrence Cannon says that we have agreed to everything. I think that's really, really ridiculous. But yeah, this guy believes in karma. The Lawrence Cannon believes in karma. So he was saying that there's this idea that she came up with called the soft way. So yeah, she says that karma is real. Whatever I do in this life is going to affect me in the next life. Like, I cannot get away with anything. See, no one gets away with anything. If you do wrong in this life, you're going to have to pay for it in the next life. He said that she gave this example, that if you unalive someone in this life, you might pay for that in the next life by having to take care of them. So in the next life, you find that that person comes back as your child, and you find that they have like special needs and you have to take care of them, or you have a job where you have to take care of, like, for example, if you unalived a lot of people, and then you have this job where you have to be taking care of these people. But I want to show you how ridiculous that is. Can you imagine in this life someone unalives you for no reason? Just maybe they're trying to rob you, they unalive you. And then in the next life, you come back, but you can't see. And that person who unalived you have to take care of you to balance out karma. Like, that's so damn ridiculous. So you come in the next life, you suffer because someone unalived you. So you suffer, you're blind, and then that person has to take care of you to balance. You see how ridiculous that is? But it's presented as if it's a good thing. It's presented as if it makes sense, but it makes no sense. You can see that these people just don't want to admit that they do not know. They don't want to admit to their followers that, hey, I have no idea what the heck is going on. So they have to keep on coming up with like these spiritual schemes, these philosophical schemes, to scam people, basically. Like, no, man. If we don't know, we do not know. That is the truth. Let's stop, pretending as this is making sense to us, even if it's not making sense. So to get to the truth, you need to question everything. You need to be so damn honest that you question everything, no matter what they say. You must question everything, so that you see if what you're being told is not BS. Because people lie. People want something, and they will lie if they think they can get away with it. If you can make money by lying, why would you not lie? It's people who want money. People are desperate. People have suffered so much that they want a better life. So if they can lie to make money, why would they not lie? Everyone wants a better life. And to know if this person lies, you must look at what they do with their money. You see, like, what are they doing with their money? Are they giving their money to charity? So someone like Dolores Cannon can preach that the things that we do actually will actually determine how our next life is going to be. Like, she's so certain. But you must ask yourself, what is she doing with her money? I mean, think about it. Let's say I believed 100% that if I do good in this world, things are gonna like work out for me in the next life. I believe that 100%. Do you think I'll be living life the way that I'm living? I mean, I'm actually living life the way that I want to be living life. Like, someone who's in my situation, I think they should live life the way that I'm living life. But I do believe that if I believed that the way that I live my life will determine how my next life is going to be, I'll be kinder than I am to people. I'll be more kind. I'll be helping people, just to make sure that, in the next life things, work out for me. I'll be helping homeless people. When I have extra cash, I'll just help people who need it. Make sure that I treat each and every person well. I treat each and every person with respect, regardless of how they treat me. But I'm trying to survive, man. If you mistreat me, chances are I ain't gonna treat you well. But yeah, that's how human beings are. No one really lives life like Jesus, right? No one really turns the other cheek. People just preach, they preach what they don't even practice, because they're just trying to scam people. These pastors preaching what they do not even practice. Do they give money to the poor? Nope. They're driving really nice cars, living in beautiful houses. They're not giving money to the poor. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I had to leave Christianity, because I believe that my pastors were better than me. I believe that they were good people, the Christians, like, in general, but who are considered to be pastors, who are considered to be leaders. I believe they were better than me, but I realized that they're not. They're just like me. They're preaching what they do not really practice. Think about it. Let's be honest with ourselves here, because honesty is important. If a person truly believed in Jesus, and they believe that if they make it to heaven, they're going to experience joy the way that they've never experienced this before. There will be no sorrow. There will just be happiness. They'll be fine, 100%. They just have to work for Jesus in this life. Do you really think they'll be concerned with the bullshit that's going on in the world? They'll be concerned with, like, getting a job, or I don't have this, I don't have this car, I don't have this, and come on, man. Like, you guys, I hate it when people are lazy to think. It'll be impossible for these people to worry about buying new cars, buying big houses, whatever. They wouldn't care about that. Why would they want to buy big houses if they know that in the next life they'll be right? I mean, you're only here for like less than 100 years, like most people don't even make it to 100. Most people don't even make it to 60. So you'd be like, hey man, I'm just going to try to do the right things all the time. I'm going to be trying to help people. You understand that, this world, I mean, let me give you this example. South Africa, it's like more than 90% of people who live in South Africa are Christians. Do you think we wouldn't be doing very good as a country if really they really believed what they were preaching? Because everyone will be trying to help everyone, because they're trying to make sure that they win Jesus' favor, They're trying to live like Jesus. If everyone lived like Jesus, things would be much better. But they're lying. They're lying to y'all. They're lying to themselves, you see? So you can't trust these people. There needs to be intellectual honesty. If you don't know what is going on, you don't know what is going on. If this is not making sense to you, it is not making sense to you. There's no need to lie. I do understand that there is something that people gain from lying, because people are, like Joe Rogan said, that, well, it's most likely that people are just dumb as fuck. Like, we might tell ourselves that there's this grand conspiracy, right? There's this cabal of evil geniuses who are pulling strings on everyone, but it's most likely that people are just dumb as fuck, and we don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit that, that's what the truth might be, that people do not think the way that they need to think. So, they get scammed a lot. The things that people believe, bro, the things that people believe, it's scary. It's scary, like, to even realize, how ignorant people are. Because people show you their ignorance by believing things that don't make sense. That's how you realize that people are ignorant. If someone believes something that doesn't make sense, you realize they're ignorant. They're naive. They're easy to manipulate. They're in another matrix. You see? They can't even be honest with themselves. How can they be honest with themselves if they've been so damn indoctrinated? You see, it becomes impossible for a person who's indoctrinated to be honest with themselves. How? How do you become honest with yourself? There's this constant need to justify the things that are happening in this world, even if these things make zero sense. Do you understand that most people are living a lie? Or maybe not even most people, like everyone is living a lie. Like everyone is wearing a mask. Like everyone is afraid to come out and be themselves. That's what I'm working on, actually. Like, I want to be so damn real that in the end, I'm going to be completely transparent. Even if it means that I will be crucified. Even if it means that I'm going to be hated by everyone, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be as honest as possible. Because I don't think there is courage in hiding who you are in order to survive. I don't see courage in that. I think it takes more courage to truly be honest, to be authentic, to say, hey, this is who I am. If you want to crucify me, but this is who I am. This is really what I think. This is really how I feel. I'm not going to lie. If you think there's something wrong with me, think there's something wrong with me. If you think that I'm crazy, think that I'm crazy, but this is me. You see? I think there's power in that. I think that how every human being should be, rather than trying to play this game that we are being forced to play, this game of like playing the roles that we are expected to play in society, other than being ourselves and living life as honestly as we can, as authentically as we can. I think there's a lot of bravery in doing what everyone is not doing and what everyone will criticize you for doing. Like that's what takes real courage, right? And there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that. How many people have you met in your life who are actually honest? I think it's actually a blessing to meet a person who's honest. I mean, not a blessing from God, but I mean it's a positive thing to meet a person who is honest. You grow. Like, you grow a lot when you communicate with people who are honest. People who are not honest will put you in another matrix. They can't even be honest with themselves. Like, the ability to be honest, I think is one of the most underrated form of intelligence. You know, it's one of the most underrated forms of intelligence. Like, some people can't be honest, bro. Some people can't be honest because they can't be honest. Like, even if they try, they just, like, they've been living a lie for too long that they forgot how to be themselves. They forgot how to be authentic. They don't even know how they feel. You see? So if you're honest, like, you are intelligent. Like, that is intelligence, because not everyone can be honest. If you asked some of the people that you live with to be honest, they wouldn't be able to be honest. They will just say you are deep, hey, you think too much, this and that. No, I don't think too much. You just don't think at all. You see? You are supposed to be thinking the way that I'm thinking, but you do not think. So you think I'm thinking too much. You see, this is too much for you, but really, this is exactly how you needed to be thinking all along. There is no karma. In fact, the idea of karma will only prove that we might actually be having a negative experience, because people are naive. I want you to understand that. And to be a human is to be naive, you see? Because you don't know anything. You're born and you know nothing. So of course you're going to make mistakes. So imagine if every mistake that you make, you have to pay for it. Even though making mistake is part of growing as a human. Like, how can you not make mistakes? How? It's not possible to not make mistakes. You understand? Because you're not born knowing what life is. It's not like life comes with instructions. You just try to figure it out as you get older. So of course you're going to make mistakes. So imagine every mistake you have to pay for it in the next life. It's a trap, isn't it? So you see, the idea of karma doesn't really make sense, because people will make mistakes. It's part of being a human. Look at the way that animals live. Can you imagine if they had to balance out karma in their next lives? Heck, they're naive. You know, they don't really know what the heck they're doing. You know, they're just trying to survive. So can we really blame them for doing things that we consider to be morally wrong? To be human is to make mistakes. There's not a human who is not making mistakes. And sometimes people just find themselves in very bad situations where almost any person would actually make mistakes. Just because I have never unalived anyone doesn't really mean that I'm better than every person who has unalived someone. I was just lucky. I grew up in a village where I've never had to fight, you know, like some people have had to, where I've never been mistreated like some people have been mistreated, where I've never had to, you know, try to do things that are illegal to survive. I was lucky enough. So I cannot say I'm better than people who found themselves in bad situations where they made mistakes and ended up in prison. Like, it's just life. Like I told you all, that we're not really playing life. Life is actually playing us. Life can turn you into what it wants you to be. So if you're not the most horrible person here. That's because of life. Life didn't want you to be the most horrible person. Like if life wanted to turn you into a cycle, it will be able to turn you into a cycle. Like it has power over you here. You know what I mean? Like the universe or life, God, whatever, like it has power. It has power here, so it can literally turn you into anything if it wants. It's free to turn you into anything, basically, because it's real. You see, you don't really have the power to kind of like. Or let me put it this way: you didn't really have the power. Maybe if because now you're much more conscious, maybe you kind of do have power. But what if something happens and you kind of lose your memories, or something happened that changes the world and the rules? Like you have to understand, think anything can happen to turn you into anything. That there are some people who didn't think they were going to think the way that they do now when they were young. There are people who used to blame people who think the way that I do, but now they think exactly how I think. There are people who were Christians when they were growing up, and they used to, blame people who are not Christian. Oh, you evil for not being Christian, and they never understood them. But then they became more conscious, and now they are against Christianity. So life, life itself is in control. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next few minutes. Things just happen, and I just respond to what happened. But I'm not really in control, man. We don't even control our own thoughts. That's the thing. We don't even control our own thoughts. We don't even choose what to desire. You see, as a human, you're stuck with your desires. It's not like you can be like, okay, I don't want to desire this. I want to desire that. It doesn't work that way. You see, so life itself is in control. So how can we really blame people for making mistakes? Being a human is to actually make mistakes. Like you were actually set up to make mistakes. And there was no other way. You couldn't just be a human who's just perfect. It doesn't work that way. Even the people who became enlightened, or the people that you believe became enlightened, like the Buddha, they've had to make mistakes in the past. You know what I mean? They've had to make mistakes in the past. So would it make sense if Buddha had to come back and balance out his karma because he made mistakes in his past life, before becoming Buddha? Before becoming the Buddha that we know. You see, there's something wrong with that. That would be like if you had a child. Most of y'all don't want to have children, and bigs up. But that's like if you're raising a child, and that child made mistakes, and you're like, you have to pay for your mistake. Think about it. Like, that's evil. I mean, that children will make mistakes as they're trying to figure this life out. So of course they will make mistakes. Sometimes they won't listen to you. Sometimes they will do what you say they mustn't do. But does that mean that they are evil and they must pay for their mistakes? Or you have to be a parent and actually help them grow and try to turn them into, a person that's going to be like a productive member of society, rather than a person who's going to be, making life worse than it actually is for everyone. So what must be realized is that people lack intellectual honesty. they want to have a positive mindset always, and that causes intellectual dishonesty. Because even when things are truly negative, they want to have a positive mindset. It's like they're fighting to have a positive mindset, you see? It's like having a negative mindset means that you're defeated, or acknowledging the truth means that you're defeated. You know, that's what some people actually say in the comment. You know, you see that what you're saying is the truth, but they kind of feel like you're defeated because you're having this. You know, it's not even a negative mindset, but you are honest, so they kind of feel like you are defeated. So you shouldn't be honest. So you see all these negative things happening, but you still have to be like, hey, this is good. Oh, this is a blessing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like that's your only way to fight. You see? You mustn't be like, actually, this is not making sense. Actually, I'm not understanding what's going on here, man. You must always have this, you know, so-called positive mindset. And that's what led to like this spiritual teachers making the claims that they are making. They're trying to justify life. They're trying to justify the horrible things that are going on in life. When horrible things happen, they trying to justify it. Like, hey, yeah, that has happened, but in the next life, something good will happen. Because that's what they're basically saying. So someone is unalive to say, no, in the next life, that person will be taken care of in some ways. Like every bad thing that happens has to be happening for the greater good. We have to be honest with ourselves about what we're experiencing. It's better to be honest. You know, it's much better to be honest. I don't think people understand the power of honesty. I don't think people understand how liberating it is to actually speak the truth, other than lying, you know, lying to yourself, lying to other people. You want to know why it's hard for a lot of people to truly be themselves and to not care what other people think? It's because they've programmed themselves to feel better when other people agree with them, right? Feel better when other people say you're right. If other people think that you are sane, right? Like, if other people think that things are working out for you, program yourself to feel good. What if you program yourself to feel good when you speak the truth, regardless of how other people are responding? Some people might say, are you also saying that you feel good even when people are not responding well? I mean, most people on this channel are actually responding very well to what you're saying. No, in real life, when I'm debating with people, usually I'm not debating with like 1, 2, 3 people. I'll be debating with like 5, 6 people, and all of them are disagreeing with me, and I'm really being honest with them. So it's not just about like making content. It's just, YouTube will of course like recommend my videos to the people who are, that it believes will agree with what I'm saying. But in real life, I'm talking to people who don't understand me at all, and I'm still going to be honest. I'm still going to be like, this is who I am. It's only when I see that it's not necessary for me to like speak. That's when I don't speak, or if I don't feel like it's necessary for me to tell people what I really think. Like, maybe these people are too damn unconscious to understand me. So no, but if I respect you enough, if I respect your level of intelligence, I'll communicate with you about what I think and how I view the world. But if I just think you're incapable of understanding me, I'm not going to communicate with you about how I really view the world. Like, there's no need. You're too damn unconscious. People in this world really do get away with a lot. And I remember there's this video that I've watched where Jordan Peterson was saying, I've never seen anyone get away with anything in this world. They might think that they've gotten away with something, but in the end, they still do end up suffering. Like, everything catches up to them. There's this constant need to justify the things that are happening in life. Like, no one can get away with lying. No one can get away with stealing. But people do get away with stealing, don't they? People do get away with lying. People do get away with manipulating other people. Just because in the end everyone dies, it doesn't mean that these people, when they die, maybe they die a horrible death, it means that they didn't get away with what they did. Like, everyone dies. There are a lot of people who have lived good lives who still die horrible death. It's life. We're not in control. We don't choose how we get to die. So yeah, some people do get to die horrible death. But that doesn't mean it's karma. It's just that if someone did something wrong, right? If someone treated you in a way that you didn't want to be treated, if something bad happens to them, you'd like to think it's karma. But bad things do happen to people. It's life. I mean, some of y'all have been good people. You've been doing the right things all your lives. But you're suffering. Why? It's because karma doesn't exist. We experience what life wants us to experience. That's it. It has nothing to do with how good we are as people. It has nothing to do with how bad we are as people. It's just life. It decides how you're going to look. If you look good, people are going to treat you good. So it's life that gave you that, right? If you're ugly, people aren't going to treat you good. It's life. If you're funny, people are going to love you and they're going to want to be around you. It's life. If you're not funny, people aren't going to want to be around you. So life decides. Life decides, and that is something that people do not want to acknowledge. They want to feel like they are in control. They want to feel like the things that are happening because of what they have done or what other people have done. But really, life plans everything. Not karma. There's no karma. It's not like there's this being that's recording everything. But like, oh, on this day you stole a chocolate, so you something must be stolen from you. Like it doesn't work that way. People have gotten away with a lot of things, and people have never gained anything for doing good. you know I mean, if we need to be more honest, it seems like people who are horrible are the ones who are winning in this world. People who don't care about other people are the ones who are actually winning in this world. And people who care about other people who do the right things, are people who are not winning in this world. So it doesn't really make sense to believe in karma. It's just that people are trying to justify life. I remember there's this other video that I watched like 3 days back on TikTok. It was this video of this guy talking about how you feel inside will be reflected on the outside. So what it was basically saying is that there was a time when he used to be angry, where he used to view life in a positive light, in a negative light, and he wasn't optimistic. He said he used to look ugly, but once he started having a positive mindset, he started looking beautiful. He's like, yeah, I look beautiful now because of that. I'm like, what? Dude, there are a lot of people who are like really negative. Some people might say, hey, Benedict, you're negative. No, I'm not negative. You don't know me. I'm not negative. All right. I speak the truth. There's a difference. There are people who actually want to only focus on the negative things that are happening in the world, who wanna stress, who don't want to be happy. I know that people like that, but some of them are really, beautiful. You look at them, you're like, damn. But that person is truly dark, right? There are a lot of people who are horrible in the world, who are doing horrible things, but they really look beautiful. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just that some of the, people want to believe that this makes sense. That's all. They don't want to believe that a person can be born ugly and suffer, not because it's their fault, but it's because life made them that way, and they didn't do anything to deserve that. I mean, what would you have done to even deserve that in the first place? Everyone wants to be beautiful. Every guy wants to be handsome, because people know how they are treated when they're not good looking. So each and every person wants to be good looking. No one wants to experience hell. People will treat you badly if you're not good looking. They'll comment on your looks. When you date someone, they're gonna ask that person what they see in you, try to discourage that person. You go through a lot. It won't be easy for you to get a job. You'll lose confidence that you actually need to even do anything in life. So no one wants to go through that. No one wants to be told that they're not good looking. Everyone wants to be good looking, and besides, society responds better to people who are good looking. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. So karma is BS. Don't let anyone lie to you. All right. Some people will make you feel guilty because things ain't really working out for you right now. They'll make you believe that the reason why things are not working out for you is because you made bad decisions. If you didn't make these bad decisions, things will be working out. Nah, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Thank you, guys.